Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 582. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Feinsod,
Ahoy!
and Tony Korkanakis.
Hey.
Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers, to 582 of the Gamecast. Woo! We are live on Twitch. Wow. And we do that every Tuesday nights. I said it before. I said it again, guys. Join us. It's fun. You can see us live and how this show unwinds.
What's the address they can find us at?
I have no idea.
Twitch.tv.
Twitch.tv/ All You Can Geek.
Yep.
I probably should
What
say
I
that.
would have guessed. Yeah.
Yeah, so please join us. We're on there. Subscribe. But welcome anyways if you're here. If you're not, whatever. Welcome. 582. It's a normal Gamecast episode. We haven't had one of these in a while, and just back to normal, like everything else when we do it. There's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow because
I knew it. I knew it. As
Yeah.
soon as we did the prediction thing, I was like, I know it's gonna be fucking next week, and we should have just waited.
Yep. Yeah. It's I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. It's just there's so many questions. I have so many questions.
I have been hearing quite some juicy rumors about tomorrow. So we'll get to
I'm
that.
excited. Unfortunately, I'm trying not to get the expectations too high because there's always disappointment.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
yeah. So but we'll see. It's going to be exciting tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Kick us off with what you've been up to, Mike. Go ahead.
So I've been playing mostly two games. Game Pass keeps on giving. I've been doing the Hitman Trilogy, which is on their collection. Now I played. In my mind, I thought I played the first two of the new trilogy, but I really just played the first one. If you recall, that one was episodic. So in my head, I thought that was two games, kind of.
Mm-hmm. It was like season 1, season 2, or something like that, right?
Yeah. So when I went in, I accidentally played the beginning of 3, thinking I had played 2. Then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I can go back and play 2. 2 was pretty good. I went through it all. The Hitman games are something that where it's my kind of B tier thing I'm a fan of. Like I like it, but I don't get huge into it. I don't replay all the levels to do all the different ways to do everything, but you can, and it's pretty cool. To me, it's like a less frustrating Dishonored a little bit, even though you don't have powers or anything, but
It's a huge selling point though, because Dishonored was quite frustrating.
This can be frustrating, but you could also just quick save, and you generally don't want to go in guns. Well, you don't, pretty much. You almost can't, but you could, and you would just get a bad score. I did get a 0 score, one of them, because I killed 5 non-target people, because I just fucked up. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna shoot my way out, and I ended up with a 0 score, which I didn't know you could do up until that point. I found that funny, but it doesn't matter. You still beat the level. So no, it's fun, and really, what I played through most of it. Now I'm going back to do the Hitman 1 stuff,
I'll be right
which
back.
I haven't, which I haven't played in a couple of years at least. I think Hitman 2 might have been my favorite levels of them all. The story is okay, but the one thing I take from this is I'm really looking forward to IO doing a James Bond game now, even more. Because just playing through these, the things that Hitman lacks is stuff that you couldn't get away with not doing in a James Bond game. It lacks actual action set pieces. You're mostly trying to be sneaky, although you can set up interesting traps and stuff, but you're gonna have to actually do some gunfights in a James Bond game, you would think. And it also lacks a little in the storytelling side of things. While I said I liked Hitman 2's levels the most, its story is almost completely told through still screen voiceover vignettes between everything, which is oh, this feels cheap. But 3 and 1 had actual animations, which was weird. I don't know why 2 didn't, but so a game with this type of stuff with a little more action and story, I think it would be pretty great, and I'm very curious to see, and I'm anticipating what it's going to be, because I like what IO does with this sort of stealth spy stuff, assassination type stuff.
Yeah, definitely sounds like Game Pass has been your ticket to games that you missed. So it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
no,
I'll just go back
it,
and do all the other ones. So.
it's almost to the point where if I think of something that, oh, I wish I played that, I just gotta wait a little bit and it'll come up out on Game Pass, and there it is. This was one of them for sure. And the other thing I've played, which was actually a Christmas present I got for Ashley that we finally got to playing, is Mario Party Superstars.
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, and it's funny because I don't think I've ever really played, other than like once or twice at a friend's house, any of the Mario parties before. So it's all new to me in here. So we've been playing that. She really enjoys it because it's more accessible for non-core gamers. Although she gets frustrated, obviously, but that's what these games do. They frustrate everyone.
Don't play these games if you get frustrated. Or go in expecting frustration. That'll be easier.
Yeah, but no, it's fun. I wonder if there's gonna be like DLC because
We'll find
there's
out
only
tomorrow.
5.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, there's 5 boards, and we kind of did them all at least once already. So we'll see. But it's good, it's solid. The mini games feel a little hit and miss to me, even though they're all supposed to be the best ones. But there's still some
Everybody's gonna have their
misses.
favorites and dislikes.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you yeah.
I don't know how or why they decide to include this tug of war spinning analog stick one in this. Like, why would they do such a thing? Especially with the way the Switch's little analog sticks are. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna completely break this. And it warns you, it's like, don't use your palm. I'm like, well, what am I doing? I'm just not gonna try. Like, what is this?
Yep.
So I don't know why they included that one in there. But otherwise, it's a good time. And I actually we had a birthday party for my mother, so we brought it over there, and she was god awful at it, but at least she could play it. So we played it with my brother Ashley and I and her, and that was fun. So yeah, Mario Party doing the party thing.
Ooh. All right, Tony, what have you been playing?
We got Pokemon Legend of Arceus, which I've been enjoying a lot, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask, like, how is it? Like, yeah, I'm kind of interested.
It's definitely the most innovative mainline Pokemon game since the original, I would say, because I feel like everything since then.
Yeah, it is. It's funny for most things that are like 25 years old. That would be a huge statement, but it's like, oh, it's Pokemon, so that's expected now.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Pokemon fans are like the Star Wars fans of the video game universe, and that, like, no matter what happens, people on social media are gonna be angry, and it's just like, Pokemon Company, fuck this, they're not innovative enough, and now it's like, oh, I wanted the old formula, why are you doing this? Give me pixels and blah blah. It's like, oh my god, just you know what, Pokemon Company, do whatever you want to do, and I'll decide if I want to buy it or not. Anyway,
I'd like to see them like cell shade this instead. Like, I think obviously the graphics are the weakest part of the game.
I think the graphics are definitely the weakest part of the game. Like, there are parts that actually do, like, maybe go, wow, like, that's really nice, really pretty. There are other parts I'm like, this is rough. It's like,
yeah, they were comparing it to like Dark Cloud and PS2.
Yeah, it's like, it's like a little weird and stuff like that. But the gameplay is really fun because it just, I've actually never been afraid of Pokemon before. And I'm afraid of Pokemon in this game because they will fuck you up without hesitation.
Weird. It's so bizarre.
Right. In this, you play back hundreds of years ago in history before Japan was really, I guess, modernized, but, explored, and, safe travels, roads were, developed and stuff like that. So, like, this is kind of like straight up, you appear, and you don't have any Pokemon or anything like that. The professor, whatever the professor is like, hey, it's a good thing I found you out in the wilds here. Pokemon might have eaten you or something like that. And it's like, oh, okay, you're right. And he's like, well, come back with me to the village, and we'll see if I can get you a place in the Survey Corps, and you can help us out because you seem like really, really good with Pokemon or something like that. Because he had a couple Pokemon with him. And you talk to the leader there, and they're like, well, we'll give you a test, and if you pass the test, we'll let you stay here and stuff like that. But if you fail it, we're going to kick you out of the village, and you just might die out in the wild. And it's like,
wow.
Oh, okay. Like, they straight up say that. You might die. And I was like, Oh, all right. Well, tell them 12-year-olds they might die. It's like, okay, let's do this.
It's a harsh past.
Right. And in this, it's literally like you're almost like a ninja, where it's like you gotta sneak up on Pokemon and throw the Pokeballs at them and stuff like that. And what I really appreciate about this one is because it's all open world ish, you can see the Pokemon clearly on the field and stuff like that. So I was like, oh look, another fucking Caterpie or something. I don't even fuck with that. I'm just gonna run past it or something like that. And what's nice is you don't even need to weaken them. Like you just literally just throw a Pokeball at them, and you have a good shot at just capturing them that way. And even higher if they don't notice you because you catch them by surprise and stuff like that. So you can just run and just go like throw a ball, and like catch 3 Pokemon in 10 seconds, and it's just like you don't have to do the battling or anything like that. You can battle them traditionally if you really want to, or if the Pokemon's like high level and stuff like that, you can weaken them that way. But there'll be these wild Pokemon. They're like larger than the standard size. They have like these mean red glowing eyes, and they're like kind of like what are they called? I forget, but they're like rampaging Pokemon or something like that. They're like berserker, and if they see you, they will just like fucking come at you, and it's like, oh my god, like why did you have to see me? Like why did you do this? Because like I don't want to fight, because if I fight, like it's gonna wipe like half my team right now, and that's if it's like close to my level. It could be like 30 levels higher, and then it's just like I just gotta run and stuff like that. But yeah,
Damn,
there's
some power Pokemon right there.
yeah, and what's really cool is
Jesus.
like they implemented a little bit of like Monster Hunter formula, where like you slowly unlock areas further and further away from the base camp, and you install new base camps and stuff like that. So you're slowly unlocking these other new regions and stuff like that. And the progression is interesting in the game because it's not like you just like blast through the story and whatnot. They're like, hey, before you're prepared for this next region, your ranking has to be like this high and stuff like that. You're like, okay, how do I have to raise my rank? And they're like, well, you can catch Pokemon, but there's these other things, these other criteria where if you focus on a Pokemon and you press like the down button, it'll give you these challenges, and it's like, hey, like catch X number of Pokemon, and there's like, it's like 1, 5, 7, I don't know, 10, 15, something like that. And it's like battle and defeat, X amount of Pokemon, and the same numbers, like 1, 5, 7, something like that. And then there's other things like catch X many by surprise, watch them use this move, Y number of times and stuff like that. So it's kind of like interesting. It makes you really learn the Pokemon, because that's actually what you're doing, is you're creating the first Pokédex in timeline canon or something like that. So I thought it was really interesting because like it really forces you to like interact with the Pokemon. You can't just like completely run and bypass all the content of the game. Just be like, hey, I'm going from X to Y to Z, and I beat the
concept
game.
though.
Yeah,
You're creating a Pokedex. That's neat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's really fun. I'm enjoying it. Probably 5 hours in. I don't think it's too lengthy of a game. Obviously, Pokemon games are never like, the base thing is never that gorsely long or anything like that. So interested. I'm really happy with it though, and I kind of hope they continue with like this as another separate mainline series, because I know people want the old formula still, and I think we're gonna get that at the end of the year again with a mainline one. But I'd like to see him.
I find that out tomorrow.
Yeah, we might find. Well, Pokemon Company always does their own thing, but usually it's at the end of the month, so they'll probably tease it tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else?
Well, I haven't played it yet, but I got this new MMO called Lost Ark. It's a Korean MMO.
Oh yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
Corey, you might be interested in this. Have you heard of this game before?
Oh, dude, come on! I've been hyping this game up for like whatever. How long?
My
freaking prediction is based off of this game.
Just wanted to make sure.
No, that's pre-ordered. No worries.
Cool.
Wait, you pre-ordered it?
Yeah, I pre-ordered it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. All right. I'll
How much loot is in this game?
All the loot.
All the loot.
It's I gotta do. Are there billions and billions of guns?
It's literally like, what if Diablo was also an MMO?
Yeah.
Yep.
I figured it's got to be something big loot. I've heard you talk about it.
I've only heard good things, and like the best part that I hear is like the grind is what, like, oh, I gotta redo the characters and it's gonna suck, but it's like, no, this is like, that's the best part. You're going back through and doing it all over again. The combat is so much fun. So, that's what I'm excited for. I thought it came out on the 12th. No.
12th is the actual release date. Today is if you ordered like a founder's pack or something.
I should have it. Huh?
Yeah, you might want to recheck.
Gotta go download that. It's too busy.
Yep.
There you go. Corey, what have you been playing?
Nothing. I just,
Oh, that's right. You were on vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been away, so I got to see my brother.
Good trip.
Yeah.
Happy 40th, by the way, Corey.
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, man! You're not on Facebook, so I can't.
Yeah.
Like I never remember.
Yeah, I forgot
Nope.
because of that too. Yep.
My fault. Yeah, I actually.
People too, but
I
should have remembered because this is one of those birthday clusters. There's like
I knew, like, I texted
one
him
of
and his
Ashley's
brother.
friends,
texted.
my mom,
That's what
you
happened.
are all in the next few days apart. Yeah.
I usually traditionally post on Discord, but it was their 40th, so I just texted them both together. I actually forgot you went down there until I saw your picture of the car, and I'm like, oh, he's in Florida. That's right, the Pokemon license plate. So, but which makes sense.
No,
but yeah,
what's crazy is like it was. They told you to get to this airport 3 hours early for all the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
It took me 15 minutes to get through everything because they didn't check a single thing.
Yep.
So I'm just sitting by the gate for like 2.5 hours. It's like, all right. Well, there's that. Nobody checked nothing. And when I got on the plane, they kept saying your face mask is not a chin guard. Keep it above your mouth and your nose. And the people next to me constantly had their face mask down. Constantly.
Oh, that's great. Guys,
and what is even crazier was they were on the return flight back, and they were sitting behind me on the return flight back. The same people.
Bro, I would have been so mad. I would have.
Like, are you serious?
What, breaking news?
It's so weird.
Just need you guys. We had an error. I'm going to just fix it. Just don't worry.
Okay. All right.
No, if you're just gonna fix it, you don't need to tell us.
Well, it's just from our recorder. Or not. I think we have
live? We're live.
We are live, but I'm doing it
live.
I'm trying to get him back. Hang on.
Oh, Craig, we lost you.
Yes.
Craig, just like Microsoft Craig.
Now recording.
Okay. I saw the error. We caught it early. Keep going. So
so I didn't get to play anything, so I've been traveling and get back and right back into work, so.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back then, and let's get into some news. Like we said, the Nintendo Direct is happening. I have to actually open our news. I haven't actually gotten around to that yet. There's been some news. Obviously, we haven't done this in a few weeks. Last week was the big news about the Switch and the numbers that it has done. And it has passed the Wii, right? The Wii.
Yep.
All time in sales. 103.54 million units sold for the Switch. Taking aim at PS2. Right?
Ooh. Wait, what?
Taking aim at PS2.
Yeah,
it's not out of the question.
It's not out of the question. It really will depend on
the OLED. The Switch Pro. Does that count?
Yeah. Well, like the PS2 Slim counted and stuff like that, so I would think it's still the same family of systems. But it really comes down to if the Switch successor is coming out next year or not. Because one of the things I was talking about with other people is that the belief that with a component in shortage supply, Nintendo may have just opted to be like, you know what? Let's not fuck around with this. We're just going to rebrand it, redo things, and we're just going to launch a Switch 2, or whatever like that, and just switch just skip the Switch Pro model, because it's like, why would you launch it this year and then next year have a Switch 2 come out? People would feel like kind of burnt
you
out.
really
on that,
see that? They even just said that they're in the middle of their life cycle.
But that's
obviously that's PR.
Right.
But yes.
But I can believe that, because they've been saying that every year for like 3 years now. They're like, guys, it's in the middle life cycle. It's going to be a longer lasting system than other things. So I still believe in the Switch Pro, but I can see the other side of the argument. I can see the other side of the argument.
The biggest thing I could see is if they come out with a Switch 2, which still make these Switch games compatible with it. It gives life to its Switch, so it can continue to sell as a lesser expensive model.
Right.
That I could see happening. Like the Switch OLED, $200 when the Switch 2 is $399 or $250 and $399, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like that I could see happening as long as they make the games compatible, which I think they're going to. Which is Nintendo's traditionally not great with that, but they have obviously that's the trend nowadays, and they've already started to do that. Well, they ported a lot of their stuff anyways from Wii U, but
they do that occasionally with handheld.
Yeah, they did do it with they didn't really do it with the new 3DS. Didn't they have their own stuff with that? But
what was that?
The new 3DS had its own games.
New 3DS had some, like a handful of exclusive new 3DS. Like Xenoblade Chronicles was a new 3DS only game. It wasn't very popular, so they didn't continue it.
Do we get the new Switch, or is it Switch 2? What do you think?
I still think
Swatch.
I think it's going to be Switch
Swatch.
Pro.
Yeah.
It just makes the most amount of sense because, hopefully they can release it at a price where they're still profiting off of it, but it's not like unreasonable.
We got to get through the chip shortage, anyways.
Yeah, and it's gonna be.
I don't know when it's gonna be, and I hope it's this year. There's up and down predictions of whether that's going to happen or not.
Right.
But second half of the year is supposed to ease up. That's from the NVIDIA, I believe, that said that.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe it when I see it, kind of thing. It's production. We'll see. Things are trending in the right direction in terms of opening things up. But then, of course, if it's not safe to do so, more and more people are going to get sick. So that's going to be a problem with production again. So that's going to be the real question mark. Are people going to stay healthy enough in the production places to continue to make these products? All right. What do we have here? Rockstar. This is news, apparently. It should not be news, but their stock jumped because of announcement of GTA 6 in production. That's all they said.
Yep.
It's being worked on. Big shock, right, guys? Nobody knew this was happening. Apparently,
man, who would have
They've
thought?
probably been working on this game for 10 years already.
Yep.
But
yeah. I mean, they probably have been working on it for that long, and it's probably still 3 years away. So, I mean, do you expect anything this year on this game?
On the fifth one.
Schreier tweeted something that was like basically what we all thought. It was like 2023 trailer for release in 2024. Is that what he's thinking? Like, right? Or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Or maybe a delay to 2024. I don't know.
yeah.
So
they're in no rush. They're making money hand over fist.
yeah.
They're at their own pace. They've always been.
It's really bad. Like I think
worry.
it was Schreier actually. Let's see if I can find it live.
It was Schreier that said it.
He made a post that was like Assassin's Creed entire series sales, like cumulative. It's like blah blah blah. Like he broke down the series, like multiple series, and like Grand Theft Auto 5, just Grand Theft Auto 5, and it's like X amount of
better than all
like
that stuff. Yeah,
it was just like
The thing though is Grand Theft Auto 5 is a series because there's like 18 versions of it. 18 on every console remaster imaginable.
Skyrim.
here it is. So entire Assassin's Creed series, 155 million copies. Entire Final Fantasy series, 164 million copies. Entire Resident Evil series, 123 million copies. Grand Theft Auto 5, 160 million copies. So just that game alone has outsold entire franchises.
And pretty big ones too.
And that is why they march to their own beat.
Old franchises.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why they march to their own beat. So don't expect it anytime soon. Another game not anytime soon. Mike, Suicide Squad.
Oh, that would be Suicide Squad. And I'm still waiting for Gotham Knights to also get delayed.
Being confirmed early. We confirmed this one the wrong way for me.
Yeah, Suicide Squad definitely not coming out until at least 2023. It's gotten pushed quietly till then for those not in the know. I still stand by the fact that one of these games is getting canceled.
I don't see it happening, but
that's a prediction I had. I expected it this year, so let's say.
I'm not sure. I'm still not convinced Gotham Knights is going to come out this year either because we've seen less from it later. I think my prediction might have also been the same, that somehow Gotham Knights would end up after Suicide Squad. So that still could happen. Either way, just so much about the production and like rollout of information and promotion of these games has been disappointing to me. So
yeah,
I agree. I agree. I mean,
when was Arkham Knight come out?
Like 2015 or so. I think
it was. Oh, was that? I mean, was that long ago? 7 years. So.
Well, yeah.
Right.
At least, I mean,
we're barely in 22, but yeah.
It was like around. It was like one of the true like PS4.
Yeah,
Xbox
it was one of
Xbox games. Yeah.
One of the first next gen feeling games for sure.
Exclusive, I believe. Wasn't that was exclusive to next gen at that point? Wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
They couldn't pull that off on the 360 or whatever.
But they barely pulled it off on the systems that we were playing it on. That ran like garbage, if you remember right, at some of those sequences.
Mm-hmm.
The Batmobile ran like garbage.
I don't remember.
Frame rate issues galore. When it was raining, I remember that 100%.
It's always raining in that game.
Yeah, driving around in the rain, it was just terrible. frame rate issues. So, let's see what else we have here. The Wolf Among Us. Do you remember this game? Do you remember a company named Telltale? Do we all remember this? They're still dead, but we did have that purchaser. Who ended up hiring, I guess, a lot of the original crew that works at a different studio. Their own self-started.
You know, the thing is, I love that first game, and I know we talked about it years ago.
Yes.
What, almost
Yes.
10 years ago at this point.
It's been a while. It was the best version of their games, in my opinion.
But yeah, I agree with that. But like the thing is, like, I'm just like, I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid that like, despite everything they're saying and like, you know, all these like reassurances, I'm just like, is the magic gonna be there? I don't know. You know, I don't know.
Well,
So
the magic is the storytelling, right? It's not the gameplay. So,
no, you're right. You're right there. But like, we're talking so many years. How many of the developers came back? How many of the writers came back?
I think
I'm just worried. That's all.
But I think we're ripe for this game. Like, I think it makes sense. Now, this is my biggest issue. Will be how much do they expand? Do they overexpand again to where we get Telltale games in every freaking everything? I don't want that. I want them to focus on like just a couple of IPs and not give us Minecraft Telltale games. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that.
Well, also, since it's been so long, and you know the company itself isn't really the same company anymore, would you expect more like from the actual gameplay than what it was back then?
I would hope so. Personally, I hope so because, you know, what I appreciate about Telltale was that for the West market, they really were pushing, you know, visual novel style stories, which I appreciate in the Japanese games too. And it's great when you get, you know, Eastern versions and Western versions. Like, I love Eastern JRPGs. I love those. But I also like, you know, Western RPGs like, you know, Mass Effect 1 and 2 and, you know, Dragon Age 1, stuff like that. So it's great when you have, you know, different companies in different parts of the world that will do something differently and be unique. And I would say when they came out with Walking Dead, that genre of game, at least in the Western, like it had kind of like died out, you know, because we had those back in the day and especially on PC.
Great games back then. Yeah, I love that stuff.
And they just fell out of favor because, you know, graphics, first-person shooters, whatever you want to, you know, just the market naturally changed. But then they came out and it's like, hey, we can tell an amazing story with video games in a new and different way and stuff like that. And I appreciate that. I think we all gushed about the original one. You know, with that said, like there have been so many advances in just ways you can tell a story and include like gameplay things, you know, whether it's like 999, like puzzle solving, you know, stuff like that, or Ace Attorney, where you're like, you know, got to prove things.
I hear you.
Stuff like that. So I'm hoping it's something like that.
Excuse me, sorry.
It's like the proto Telltale, like if you go back into the Future, was a little more point and clicky than, you know, they became. I think they intentionally streamlined it, so that's what I'm wondering about.
I'm okay with the same gameplay, but what if they deliver a more branching story? Like, what if all four of us play a different game because they actually do come through with a branching story?
Come on, Jim.
No, I mean obviously there's still going to be a funnel effect in a game, no matter.
Like, you want to talk about,
but really give us a good branch.
The biggest problem with that is if they wanted to have a sequel.
And that's what I was about to say. This is what my personal hope would be, because one of the interesting things that this game did, and I'm pretty sure it was this one, I could be getting it wrong, but like it told you a breakdown of what players chose, like at each decision, right?
That was cool. Yeah,
I would love them to be like, hey, here's 3-4 different endings or something like that, and it's like, you know what? And we're gonna let you have all these different possibilities. They're actually different depending on the choices you made, and the sequel will be based on the most popular, like within a year or something. That would be cool. To me, I think it would be cool. Be like, let the players essentially choose what is canon for, you know, the
theories. Yeah.
It is also funny though when you look at most of those, just like, oh, everyone is a hive mind. God damn it, because for most of those, it's pretty one-sided. But
yeah, no, I get you on that. But like, if you have really good decisions and branching stories, it can really.
I'm not saying it's easy. It'd be very hard.
It's not easy, but I feel like we should be at the point with like programming and memory in the systems where they could really give us that. I mean, not a game like obviously like Mass Effect. You can't deliver like a combat like action game with all those branching stories and still deliver that. But I think like a game like this, where they're not really focused on gameplay itself, but they can really focus on the story, they can use that processor power for all these different branching things. They could put that in the game
Right.
because there's not as much gameplay into it. I think they could deliver this. I expect more. I actually expect it more branching story, a bigger story with more options in the game, which will give me something different as opposed to what you get. And then as we get to the next game, it does branch out further and further. But again, you still are limiting it to there's still certain paths. You know what I mean? It's still not infinite. It'll never be infinite. But that's all. So I don't know. But I do like your option. I do like your option of the most popular choice too. I think that works as well. So all right.
It's tricky.
Yeah,
It's just
it is tricky when you get
not
there. That's what
really
happened in Mass
able
Effect. You couldn't deliver because the expectations were just too high.
I mean, they did give you a few dialogue breadcrumbs in Mass Effect, at least. There'll be like a throwaway line here or there referencing things you did, but
Yeah, but that's
I do think the issue is almost less processing power and more just the work
Yeah.
that it would take, and like knowing that most people won't see most of it, and I think they're hesitant to do that to put get more actors, voice actors, to record like whole other things that may or may not happen. I just think they could have maybe done that a while ago, and they just been unwilling to because of that.
Could be.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. And that's about it on the news, with the exception of like Steam Deck's coming out. Nothing really. 2 hours of battery life tops, right?
2 to 3 for like AAA games apparently. Which
I mean, that's Switch-esque from the original Switch. Zelda was 2.5, wasn't it?
I don't remember getting Littles 2.
I thought it was 2.5 if I remember that game. I mean, it varies per game clearly, but
Right.
yeah, AAA, like you said, I thought it was 2.5 on the Switch. So I know the OLED they said kills the Steam Deck's OLED, right? Looking like that's
Yeah.
not as
Littles
good.
is better.
So that's interesting. So we'll see. Corey, you got a pre-ordered, right?
I had a pre-order for it. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't hear the last like 2 minutes for some reason.
Oh, sorry.
My sound. But talking about Steam Deck, I
Yeah.
pre-ordered, but it's just a $5 deposit, and you can get it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're not Ouya in this, right? You're not getting the Ouya in this.
Ouya?
Ouya, right? Is it Ouya?
I mean, this thing it was the Ouya, not the Ouye.
It was the Ouya. Well, yeah, no, but I kind of worked it in my. I don't want to say it, but you're not
Does it
Ouyaing
matter?
into it.
This was cool.
You're not
looks
Ouyaing
cool,
into
though.
it.
I'd say the screen looks terrible, but
Yeah.
and the battery life is about what I expected. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. So we'll see. All right. That's basically gonna wrap up this episode.
Oh, I was gonna say real quick. Some of the
there's
juicy rumors I was hearing about the Nintendo Direct.
Go ahead.
Apparently, I want to say Korean equivalent of the rating board or whatever website that has leaked games in the past. Apparently, they threw up a placeholder website, shopping page or whatever for Batman Arkham Trilogy on Switch.
I did see that possibly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. Okay, I saw that on Twitter. Twitter.
Yeah, so that's interesting. But a more interesting thing was that somebody hinted at potentially a GoldenEye announcement tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
Really?
Apparently.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
I don't know.
Nope, I don't.
I'm not guaranteeing.
I don't
It's a
believe
rumor.
you.
I'm just a rumor. But I have seen it. I have seen a few people talk about it. I'm just like,
I'm not gonna get my hopes up for that. I'm just not.
I
If they
know.
announce it, holy shit. If they announce it, holy shit. But I'm not getting my hopes up for that.
No.
Yeah.
With rare behind it.
I mean, the game was finished at some point, so I don't know who did it. I don't remember those details and stuff like that. But they had worked on that, and I believe it was finished, and I think it was an 11th hour thing where it's like somebody backed out for whatever reason, and we never got it. So
It'd be interesting. Very interesting. Let's see.
Because I mean, maybe that was part of the deal. How they got Microsoft got Nintendo
Rare,
to let their games on the N64 online service.
Oh yeah.
So
That might be it. We'll see. That could be really interesting. Holy crap. So, all right. We'll see tomorrow. Next week we will be discussing that. That's for certain. So tune in then. We'll be on Twitch 8 o'clock Tuesday nights streaming. We're on YouTube the following day. We're on Spotify and iTunes. Our feed. You guys can download the episode on there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you. We're out.
Adios.
Um,